this is our fourth week class, and in this class we will try to create some functionalities like authentication, authorization. Then I will explain you how joining works in MongoDB. Generally, we tell like MongoDB is a NoSQL, no relation based database, but still we can create a relationship with the tables through ref and populate. So I will explain you how we can do that thing. And once we do those things, then I will explain you how we can create a Swagger URL, so that we can give that I mean have that in our application, and the UI person can see those and create their integration with the APIs. Okay, they complete the integration with the API. So today we will try to complete this thing. If we can complete it earlier on, then we will move into the other topics also. So let's start. I Okay, let me open my projects and start my screen share. Yes. Okay, let me open the projects. Okay, so you can see this was our user schema, right? Where we have created some user, correct? And then in password, what we had done, we had simply saved our password. If you check our database and check the uh, user database, what we have done, we have simply save our password, right? And anybody who have access, then he or she can see the password. So we cannot say password uh, in I would say in open form. We have to encrypt this thing. So whenever we are saving any password, then we have to encrypt our password. So let me first clean this database and do some changes. Okay, do some changes in our application to make everything work. Okay, I am deleting the user table, and then I will do some change in schema so that it does not store the password without encrypting it. So for encrypt, what we will do, we will install one dependency which is called bcrypt. Okay, and then I will show you how we can add trigger in your MongoDB, so that before doing everything, or before or after doing any operation in the DB, it will first execute that trigger, that I would say function, and then do anything else. Okay, let me install. Okay, let us see it command. So right now, what I am trying to do, I am trying to save my password in encrypted form. For that, I am using bcrypt. So what bcrypt do? It will hash your password, or it will change your password in some random numbers or random digits. Okay, which we cannot read, and then when we want to compare it, then it will compare those with that encrypted script, and we can use this thing for login and everything, and in this way we can hide the actual password uh, into database, so nobody can see the actual password, but he will only see some random generated number through. Okay, and this is very important. I mean, to do if you save any credential like password, you have to first hash their password or change their password to some encrypted form, and then only you have to save it. Okay, so I have saved this module, and next thing what I will do, I will create a trigger. Okay, trigger in database. So what is a trigger? See, trigger is a special type of stored procedure that automatically run when an event occur on a database server. So what I will do, whenever I will save anything, any new user, I will simply run a trigger and then encrypt this password. Whatever password I will provide, I will encrypt it in the encrypted form with the help of trigger. I know it's not a very good thing. I mean, it's not a very common thing, but you should know how to write a trigger. So this is one of the example, or you can say a store procedure. Okay. So let me
Sir,
open.
the
Yeah,
sir, the similar thing like in SQL Server or any
yeah,
other
yes,
database.
yes. Yeah. So what I'm trying, instead of writing a code, okay. See, if I use this in a code, then what happen? If we are registering a user from multiple places, okay, then there might be a case some people have decrypted it, some people might not, right? Or some people might have used a different version, different salt, different thing. So in this way, those encrypted data might be different, right? If we four or five of us are working together, and I will tell you to save a data, I might do it correctly. Custom might miss something. Custom might not encrypted those data, or somebody else might have encrypted those data, but they have used a different salt. Okay, so in this way, our three data might not be consistent. So to make it consistent, and since it's a very important thing, so what we are doing, we are writing a store procedure or a trigger, which will run whenever we try to save it in the database. Okay, understandable. Instead of creating a function, we are directly creating a store procedure or a trigger. Okay, so let me open one project. Okay, let me copy this thing and then I will explain you everything. User schema name is also user schema. Okay, see, I have, and this is password p small. Okay, okay. So what I did, I created a I would say pre-trigger. Okay, pre-trigger means whenever we are going to save anything in a database, before saving into database, this trigger will run. Okay, so what it will do, see, this dot is modified password, or this dot new mean whenever we will try to save anything, or whenever we will try to update anything, right? Whenever we will try to modify or save anything, what it will do, it will decrypt it. Okay, it will it will create a decryption form of that password. Okay, and then, sorry, and then it will create a hash. I would say it will convert your password in a hash format, and then it will save it into your database. Meaning it will change your uh, data or the password into this hash format, or into this encrypted format, and then it will save or update into your database. Understandable? Anybody have anything to say regarding this, like why I have done this thing?
Yes.
Yeah, Kasam.
Decryptation means encryption means that our password, whatever the alphanumeric password we are saving, it will convert to a hash form. Okay.
Yeah,
Decryption means form to actually we are converting it to the main form.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So here we will only do one way encryption. Okay, like this our password 12345 6. This will change into something like, okay, this something like this. Okay,
Okay.
right. So whenever we are saving or updating into our database for this table, for this user table, okay, what it will do, it will before saving or before updating into database, right? Before saving or before updating into database, it will create a hash form, or the hash form of your data, I mean of that data, and then change our password with that hash form. So this is nothing but this is a store procedure. Okay, procedure, or simply we call it as a trigger, right? So you might have heard this thing that, like, do you able to write any store procedure or not, or do you know how can you write a trigger? So now you understood, right, what is trigger or what is the store procedure. It's a kind of a command, or it's a kind of a function which execute before or after I mean doing some changes in the database, right? So it's a kind of a database function. So let's move on. This I will explain you when we will compare our database, like when we are logging. Okay, in login also there might be a case, right? Mean mean I have hashed those password and somebody did not hash those password, and again we are fighting, like this is not working. But if we make a trigger of this, so whenever we are comparing the password, it will first uh, mean we will do it from this function, from this trigger function, so that uh, mean we don't need to create any new function. We have a trigger function, we will call this function, and then we will utilize from anywhere. We just have to connect the database and then use the function. Okay, so if we are working on a microservice architecture, then this function will be available to every places, right? So let's move on. We are on save, so let's move on to our save. Okay.
Sir, one small question.
Yeah.
So as we are actually following the structure of the code base, okay, it is a
Okay.
monolithic structure.
See, it's a we can divide everything into microservice one. Okay, what I mean, that's why we are separating everything. We have everything separated, right? So if we need to create a microservice structure, what we need to do, we need to remove route, we need to remove model controllers. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Mean different route and different controller, the combination of those things, and rest would be the same. Uh, and then we can put it those constant or those things, uh, I mean, instead of putting constant, we can put everything in .env. Okay, and then this structure will be a microservice structure, right? Microservices mean what? Mean you are dividing all of your services or all of your modules into small programs, or small applications, right? So if you have this structure, what you have to do, you just need to mean create one new application which will have only this user route, which will have only this user controller, right? And then this thing will get removed, this thing will get removed, mean all the other routes and all the other controller will get removed, and then it can work as as a single application. Okay, I will explain you those also. No need to worry. So now we are using the same code, okay, and this will work, right? This should work and this will work because, and then what will happen, user will provide the password, and then we will save it, and when we will save it the password into our database, that trigger will automatically convert this password into the hash form, the bcrypt form, and then we will have our password in the encrypted form. uh, just we need one change. What would be that? Yeah, we have to include this bcrypt. Okay, let us run our application and see do we have any issue or not. No issue, right? And let us, okay, so now let us save one user. Right now I don't have any table, anything, okay, anything like user. So let us create, uh, let us insert this data and see whether those trigger work or not. Okay, we have a user table, but user table does not have anything. So let us create it. See, we have save it, and now you can see the password have got encrypted. Okay, and if we check our database also, if we check our database also, if we check our database also, so in database, what trigger did, it had converted our password into this encrypted hash form. Okay, we are good now. Anybody have any question?
Yes, can you open the server.js first?
Okay,
Where you
then
uh,
we did not did any changes. Okay, right now we did not did any changes. Okay, okay.
so where
with our
you have
with our code, I went to my user schema, and then add this trigger, or simply we can say add this store procedure. We did not modified anything. Okay,
so
so
is it a right place to write this? Because I think
yeah,
it should be written in
this,
controller level.
no, see, this is the right place to write because we do not want it, want this thing to be modified by the user. Okay, because I want this thing to happen, and I don't want uh, this thing to make mistake by any developers. Okay, so I want this to be a compulsory one. If I write this thing in controller, then there might be a case like, uh, like you are saving user from your end. Okay, and inside this database, some other people, some other application are using the same database, same user tables, okay, to save the user. You might have encrypted, but other person did not encrypt. This can happen, right? You have written this function in your controller, so you have encrypted it. Other person did not encrypted it, or instead of 10, you have used the 10 in the salt, and other person might use 12 in the salt in this function. Okay, so those encryption data would be different for two of you. Okay, or 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 this function is happening in I would say server level, where you don't have access. Okay. So from local also you are saving the user. There might be a case while you are developing something, you are doing some test data, and in that time, you forgot to do something, and we don't want to do any single mistake in our tables. Okay, we don't want to save anything without encryption or without doing this thing into our table. Then it's better to create a store procedure instead of creating a function. Yeah, we can use this thing, we can use this thing in our controller or in our utility functions. That's fine. But since I wanted to do this thing, and I don't want to have any data or have any password without encrypted, because you cannot show password of any user if you are working in any enterprise application or a big application where you do not encrypt their password. Your application or your company might end up paying a huge, I would say, what compensations, right? There are some policies which says you cannot save any password without encryption into your database. Okay, so to make it must, what I did, I created this trigger so that whenever we save anything, and it has save the password, then this trigger must be called and it will encrypt the data, and then it will save it into our database. You can mean you understood, right, Kasta? What I wanted to say, like you can have this in your controller also, no issue. But uh, I want I want to make this thing compulsory. Hence, I write a trigger for this. Okay, to minimize
No,
the error.
what my concept is actually, what I'm telling you, actually encryption is a part of our project. Okay, encryption is a part of our saving to the user table for the password. Okay, so if we actually communify, if we actually make common of these functionalities into
See,
another one.
this thing make common. This thing will call. This thing is a common function, right? This thing is more common than what you are saying. If we create a trigger inside our this trigger inside our table, if we go there, and I think there must be some option to create a trigger. Okay. Okay, yeah, see, I can create a triggers here. Same thing, same function. I can create it from here also. I don't know whether the free account will, yeah, they give you. Okay, I can start. I can check those things and then create a trigger from here also. So this is more common, right? We are connecting the database. Okay, and database is same for all the user. I mean, if you're working on microservice based architecture or any architecture, so this would be more common. And if I create a trigger from here, that would work on every everyone, whether they have encrypted their data, whether they have used the bcrypt or other hash map. I mean, this trigger will automatically uh, encrypt those things whenever we will try to save save the data into the database. Okay. I mean, my answer is, yeah, you can create a separate function inside your utils. Okay, before saving, you can call this thing and save it. Yes, that's fine. But for example only, I am showing this, like you can create a store procedure uh, to encrypt your password. Mean it's upon the developer, like how they develop, how they write their code. Okay.
Okay.
See, I can do everything. I can create those trigger and then write the function, right. I can write the function here, and then I can run those things. So those trigger will run and give everything. Let it be. So right now we have encrypted our password and then save it. Now let's create a login.
Firdous have a doubt here.
Yes.
What is your next here? Where
Okay.
for?
See, next mean in a callback, if you have this function, and then what we are doing, we are calling using it as a function, right? It's a function. So next what it will do, whenever we want to save it into this schema, into this user schema, what this store procedure is doing, since we have used dot pre mean before. If we want to have this operation after the saving, then we have to use post. Okay, so before saving, what we are telling them, before saving, do this thing, do this thing, and then once this get complete, go to the next part, the next function. Mean what would be the next function before saving? It should be the save part. So go to save or modify part. Got it?
Go to next means where it will
Go,
go.
yeah, see, if you are saving your database,
Okay.
then it will be pre save or modify, right? and
Yes.
then and then response,
Okay.
right? So what we are doing, we are uh, before save. So this pre function will run here before save. Okay. Once it this can be a part. Whenever we are calling any function, I think, or we are saving this. Before something mean collecting data, I can say collecting data, right? Right. So once we collect data, during collection of data, when we are doing a save portion, we are calling this function, right? And then after this, it can be a post. Okay. So while collecting the data, we are calling this trigger, right? And once it complete, it will call the next portion. Okay. Next mean it will call this step, mean actual save or modify. Understood? So the next function will move our move the data uh, base functionality into actual saving or modifying into database. If we have, instead of pre, if we have used post, then what will happen, this will save everything into database, and before giving a response, it will do some changes here. Okay. That we can do when we fetch anything, when we try to fetch anything. We need to, like for first name and last name, we have a first name and last name, right? We don't want to save the full name. Then what we can do, we can create a post data. Instead of save, it should be fetch, right? And write some logics where we will join these two things, first name and last name, and send something like full name. You got my point? In this way, we can write the different triggers. Any more question?
Text
Yeah,
didn't
sorry,
understood.
is this save and fetch that are parameters in the pre function, are they self-defined, or would
Yeah,
you write anything there?
yeah. It has been predefined there. Okay. If you check for Mongo's trigger, then you can get all those things. Okay. If you can check those things, then you will get to know, like there are different events. Okay. Like create, update. In this way also you can create your events. Okay. So create, update, remove, partial, and different event you can provide there. Okay. So you can go dig more onto this, and then you can write those triggers. So these we can call as a middleware. Okay, it's a middleware of MongoDB. So or simply we call it as a triggers. Or in SQL language, we generally call it as a store procedure. So any one of these three will work. Okay, other different name we using this thing. We are good now.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So with this, what we have done, we have write a store procedure in our database. Actually, I just wanted to make you familiar with this kind of terms like store procedure, triggers, like what it is, how it works. Okay, I can create a function just like Costa was saying. I can create a function and utilize that thing, but in this way you get to know these things also. Like okay, something these kind of things are there, which happen. We generally done by the database admin. Okay, or DBA person used to do this thing. So let us create another routes. We call it as a login routes. Okay, where we will make a user login, and then I will tell you how we can use the JWT token. Let's go to server first. This is our user route. Let's create a login route. Now I'm going to explain you like how we can use the JWT token. Before creating that, let us see what is JWT token and why do we use this thing. Okay. So if you see this example, like JW token are the open industry standard RFC 7519 methods, okay, for representing claims secure between two parties. In when you are communicating between two parties, what we do, instead of sending you the actual data, we 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 encrypt it, okay, into some kind of token. And with this token we can say like whether this token, I mean, we can validate those token, we can decrypt those token, we can decode those token. Okay, and then with this a secure communication would happen between the two parties. You mean like I have a UI, okay, and I given you the API. So with if I authenticate you through your username and password, then instead of sending you the details, the rest of the details, like your name, password, and everything, I will not send those things. What I will do, I will encrypt your details and I'll provide it to you. Okay, so that if you call the others API, like if I have a user API and then I call, if I want to see the user details, okay, so again I cannot tell you, hey XYZ, please log in again, right? Once he is logged into the system, then he should access those details. but but there might be a chance like those API can be called by some other persons also, right? And he may give a random ID 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 9 10, some random ID, and through that he can get those data. So in this way we have a security issue. So in order to make your application more secure, what we do, instead of providing the data, we provide a token, we provide a hash string, okay. And then whenever you try to communicate any restricted API, we first check whether you have this valid token or not, and only if you have a valid token, then only we will we will we will we will uh, allow you to use those API. Okay. So let us see how we can create a JSON web token. So, if somebody asks you like what is a JSON web token, so it's an industry standard RFC method for representing uh, for communication between the two parties. Okay, and JWT token also allow you to decode your application or your code. Mean whatever data you have, hash string I have provided, so I can decode it, and I can verify whether it's a valid or not. Okay, so let's start. JWT and PM. Okay, so let us install JWT dependency, and then let's see. So everybody good, right? Why we are using JWT token while login, or for every
Yes,
secure
yes.
API? Yeah, for every secure API, we have to use this token. We will use this token for every secure API. Okay, so we have installed this. There is one Warner. Okay, okay.
What is the command?
Uh,
npm install.
JSON web token. Okay, or you simply go to Google and just type JWT npm. In there we can get it. Okay, inside this.
so you said this is the information you'll send to the front end
Yeah.
when somebody logs in. Uh,
Yes.
uh, does the front end engineer decrypt it
No,
or
no, no,
decode it
no,
from his
no.
end?
He did not have to decrypt it. He have to save it somewhere, either in local storage, cookies, session, anywhere. Okay, anywhere he have to save it, and then whenever he will call the secure API, when the API which are secure, for example, like the user details. The user details can be only be seen by the same user or admins. Okay, so whenever we are calling some secure API, then this token, he or she will send this token uh, in any place. Ideally, it should be in header. He will send this token, and then we will read this, and then we will check it, verify it, whether this token is valid or not, whether this user has been logged in or not, or its login type has been expired or not. Okay, so those things we can verify, and once it's valid, then only we can allow them to use those API. Okay, so let's move
Yeah.
forward and see how it works. So first thing what we have done, we have installed it, and then okay, this is our login route. So we have created a user. Now we will make him login. So we have another route. I mean, we are developing the second route. Okay, that is login. Now go to login route. Simply copy this thing. Okay, we have this. Change it to login. We will create a login controller also. So now we will do lots of copy paste, right? We don't have to write everything again and again. We have the structure. We will simply copy paste those things, and then we will have uh, everything with us. Again, in controller, we will create a login controller. Remove the other function. Okay, and then yeah, this is the ID. Okay, for now I am simply, yeah. Let us create the login function also. Common function user validate common function. Okay, I will change one by one. So first we will create this validation function also. So this is inside our common function. Yes. What I will see, I will just check whether it given the username or password or not. Okay. So this validation I need bank check, right? Whether they have provided anything inside the body or not. Then what I will do, I will check the email and password. What is the name of that game? Let me just just give me a minute. We don't have any message for password and email ID. Let us create those things, okay, inside our constant. Message. Anybody have anything to tell till here? Are you able to understand this thing? Is it understandable to all of you?
Yes, yes, I'm following.
Okay. Password. We have this one. Now what I will do, I will just copy one code for this. Okay. Like for login. Let me open that folder. because if I write everything, it will take time. Okay. And I am not writing any logs here. You can add your logs later on. Okay. So what I have done, what I have done till here, this is our main function, user login. So whenever we will log in, so from route we will call this function. Okay, user login. Now let's go to our controller. What is happening here? See what I did. I tried to do different kind of validations. Okay, different kind of validations. First, whenever we are login. Okay, so first what I did, I just check whether those email ID are present inside our database or not. Okay, so first I run this find query where I provided the email ID which I got from our request body. Okay, and again here you can see I have done three checks. What are these checks? First check is TB failure. Okay, mean whenever we are running the find query, we are getting any errors from DB or not. I check that thing, and if there are any errors, I am responding back, means sending the response back to the UI with status 500 and with the error. You can log here also. I mean you can add a log here and you can log this error. Right? Let me do that thing also. That would be better. That will make our application good. Right, first what I did, I created a random number, then I name it differently, login API. Okay, and here I can provide the different logs. Right, we need to add the validations also. Yeah. Okay, and then you can add logs as much as you can. Okay, and I think this is a proper industry standard login code which everybody should write. Okay, what I did, I first created a PID, mean process ID, with that's a unique number, and then I started to give the logs, info, error, everything. So at every place you have to give those logs. Okay, I'm not doing that now, but when you will practice, you have to give this thing. First thing what I did, very important thing, before doing any operation, you have to validate your data. Okay, so I have validated this data and call this function, right, which I just now generated. Login validation. Let me see whether it's a login validation or not. Yeah, I'm calling login user validation. Okay. So I'm calling this function. When I get this true status, then only I'm moving forward. So let's see whether I have uh, done the function correctly or not. I think no, I have done some mistake. Right, we have to use this string, and we need to return this string. And if any validation fails, we are modifying those string. Okay. So we are good up with our validation. We have done the validation. Now let's see what we need to do. What we are doing. Then what we are doing? We are checking whether any user exists or not. User exists or not with the email ID. Okay. Right? If exists, get it details. Right? So what I did, I call this function and check whether it's the given email ID user is exist or not. If exists, then get it details, right? So this user will have details like the data if that email ID have any user. If it does not have any user, it will give us the blank. Okay. Then what we are doing? We are checking uh, if there are any DB failures or not. We are doing one operation whether this operation failed or not. If failed, then we are sending this. Okay. Else, what we are checking, this user, the user which this function provided us, whether it has any data or not. If it do not have any user with given email ID, okay, then I will come into this block, and again, if it does not have any user ID, we will send this message to them. Okay, let us see whether we have this message or not. We will go to our constant. I don't think we have. Okay. Okay, we get this message. Mhm. Okay, now everything went past. Now we can see like, okay, we have those user, right? We have those user, and then what we are doing? Now what we are doing? We are comparing those passwords. Okay, we are comparing those passwords with this password with what we have into our database. And again, you can see this compare password is also a trigger. Okay, which we have created inside our models. You can have that thing at any place, right? You can have that thing at any place, but what it will do, it will check the method that it will compare the passwords, okay, with with that user, okay, into the database, and provide us true or false, right? Provide if it has an error, then first parameter it will send an error. If it match, then in second parameter it return is match, true or false. So let us see our course what we have done. Hmm. So again, this will throw error. Okay, if it does not match this, if it's a false, if sorry, this will throw error if there are any DB error like the one we have done earlier on. His match will throw false when if it does not, if password and then this thing mean we are good. Till now, anybody have any question? What I did here, why I did here, till this, till line number 32. Okay. So we came to this place, right? We came to this place where we will create a token and then provide you the token. So let us come to a function and then uh, generate some tokens. Okay. So here we will create another function. I would say two function. First, encrypt JWT, and next function will be decrypt JWT. Validate. I have created three functions for our JWT encryption and decryption. Okay. Now come to this npm and what it says. What it says like JWT, for JWT you need to send some data. Okay, and some private key, some private key. You can create a token like this JWT.sign. This will be your data. Okay, and the private key. See, this private key we can have it on some a secure place also, right? So this key can be some hash RSA in SHA-256 format also. I mean it's a very long key. Okay, and then we can create a JWT sign on token with it.
This private key will actually, suppose we are sending the data like email ID, password, like that, other stuffs of an
No,
entity.
no, 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 no. Private key mean generally when we create an auth. Okay, so with those private key, mean it's a kind of a string. Okay, which should be kept uh, in private, so that only those company will know that thing. If this key are known by the some other person, then they can decrypt those genuine token again, because it work on both. Here we can do encryption and decryption both. That's why I have created two functions, right? we can encrypt those and then we can decrypt those. So to encrypt, we need some key, we need some salt. Okay, and when we provide that token or provide that salt or the key, private key, then it will hash those data, and with the same key we can decrypt those data. So ideally, this key should be very secure. Should be kept at some place where nobody can know this thing. Because if somebody knows this thing, like how you are encrypting and how you are decrypting your data, they can create some false uh, encrypted token. Okay, if they somehow get to know somebody email ID, so they can encrypt those things, and then your security might be breached. So to make your application very secure, what we have to do, we have to put our uh, our encrypted key in a place uh, where you uh, where nobody can check this thing, where nobody can see this thing. Okay. So let us create one JWT token, and then let's see. Okay. Let me create the callback one. Yeah, this one. Right. And for this private key, what I'm doing, I am putting it here, but ideally it should not be here. Okay, it should be some other place. Or what I will do, I will put it in environment variable. Okay, let us
Is private key needs to be generated or by or should be
some company can generate it to you if you're working in company, but for now we can have some strict. But if you are working in some company, they will give you with after generating it. And different company have a different policy. Some expire it in 6 months, some expire it in 1 year. So in this way, they do it in this way so that nobody can able to uh, know it, or if anybody know this thing, they can simply change it. Okay. I was use this in our description function. Okay, this is for some.
I'm going to fix, I write it as a parameter.
Yeah, you have to. What can you repeat again?
Algorithm RS256.
Yes. Then we have to pass this thing data, our key, private key, and then this algorithm.
It is fixed.
Oh, no, you can use different algorithm based on your application, okay, or based on your company policies. So there are, I think it allow you to use the different algorithm also. Inside 256, you can use the different algorithm also. So that will depend based on your company policy, like what algorithm they provide. Okay, so these are the algorithm for secret this, for RSA this. So you see these are the numbers. For default, these are the thing. Okay,
So
so based on
why we
let's say,
use this? Is there any kinds of documentation? Why we use this? That which algorithm we should use for any particular save or any particular fetch something else?
I told you that like this kind of thing will provide you by the company's security person. Okay, network security. So so based on there, by default we generally use 256. Right. So, so based on your company security policies, like what kind of security policy they maintain, you can use a different algorithm. But generally, people use 256. Understandable? So for this also, what we will do, we will do anything now. Actually, okay. 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 So now what we will do, we will call, once we have done everything, we will call this JWT token. We haven't included it. Let's include. We are good till now. Are we good till now? Whatever thing I have done, I have created one function. Then this data will pass from the function. Okay, I have created one private key inside our environment. Yeah, ideally it should be kept on some secure places. So environment is also a secure place, because based on our environment, this key we can separate. Okay. Then what I have done, I have sorry, I have used this function to create the JSON web tokens. Okay. Then from controller, what I will do, I will simply remove this thing. I will call the common function, right? Common function dot encrypt JWT. Okay, make it call. Instead of return, what I will do, I will make it callback. Okay. Why? Because this token generation may take time, and then okay, I can give it any name, but for the industry standard for callback, we generally use callback name as callback. Okay.
Why we use callback in here is we can use async also.
Yeah, it's your wish what we use. Okay, has different ways of doing it. It's totally depend upon you, like what you like. Okay, this is this is it. There are three way, right? We can use async coding like promise, async and await, and callback. So here I have used this callback. Okay, let us wait for five minutes and then I will continue. Yeah, so till now I am back now. So till now anybody have any question like why I have done this thing?
Yeah, it's okay for me.
JWT,
Yes, can you tell?
JWT is, can you re-explain it? JW, and we are actually encrypting JWT first.
Yes, while login, what we have done, we have do all kind of validation, like right.
Yes, yes,
Then we check whether that email ID exists or not. See, that's why I write this comment. So this is also a very important thing for any development. Like whenever you are writing anything, give comment as much as you can. Okay, more
hmm.
you give comment, it would be easier to the
Understand
next
everyone.
developer to understand the code. Yeah, right.
Yes.
We have checked whether email ID exists or not. If exists, then I am taking this user. Okay, user details. And then what I am doing, I am comparing that like the user which we have and the password which we have provided, whether it's match or not. Okay, so comparing password. Okay, and once it it compared and it's good, then we are coming into this block. Then what we'll do, as I explained you earlier, like we are not providing anything. We cannot provide the user details. Okay, for just for now, I will be showing this, but actual we should only provide the token, and this token, uh, all the UI guys have to maintain this token to call all the API where we need an authentication. Okay, where we need to see like those requests can only be seen by a particular user only. It is not public. Some API can be a public, but most of the API cannot be a public. It should be used by particular group of people for particular people. For that we have to do authentication and authorization. Okay, we will move forward on those things, like how we can do that thing. Now, what I have done here, I created one function where I send this data, and second parameter, I send this function. So this way of coding is called callback. Okay, I send this function, as a callback, and inside our function, what we did, we simply copy this thing, what we got from uh, the official website of JSON Web Token. Here we have used this data. When we decrypt, we will get back this data. Okay, so this data, the private key and the algorithm. So I have put the private key into my environment variable, so that for different environment it will have a different private key. Then algorithm I have put in constant, so that we have a consistent algorithm, right? And then we are calling this function. Once this sign in get complete, we are calling it this callback function. Then what will happen when we call this callback function? The execution will come here. Okay, it will call this function and execution will come here. So the two things which we have passed inside the callback, if you see it again, this error and this token. So these two will be these two things. This error and this token. Okay. So again we checked like whether there is any JWT error or not. Okay. Error or not, we are checking, and then if everything goes well, we will respond back this message login success. Let's see whether we have any message like this or not. We don't have, right? Just message inside our constant. Okay, and let's do login from here.
I think you have not called the user model in the login controller.
Okay, let me see. We have user model. Okay.
Well, it's capital letter U in lines
Yeah, yeah,
18.
yeah, yeah. That's why it's not reading it. Thank you, thank you. We don't need mongoose here. Okay, and then it will be our post method. Our main route will be login, and then sub route will be again login. Let me see what is the main route. Main route we have given as login. So for sub route, let us change it into login user. Right. So we have created this user which have this email ID and password. To header, we have to add content type. It should be application JSON. So that's it. And inside body, we have to send the raw format. Okay. So let's see whether our validation works or not. First, I will make it as blank.
So are we saving? We are actually fetching the records right now.
Yeah, right now we are fetching the record.
Then why actually we use the post? We should use the get now.
Yeah, we can use get also. See, we are sending the data also, right? We are sending the data also. More than one data, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let us see what happened. Something is wrong here. Okay, this body. Common function, line number 87. Line number 87. Okay, I think I haven't viewed the body. Okay, they have sent just the body. Okay, my mistake. Okay, should be just body inside our controller. Yeah, we are sending the body. Okay, from validation it's failing, but I'm not getting any response. Okay, why we are not getting any response? Let us see the code. Okay, ideally we should give a response, but what happened? I have just used the if case. Okay, not the else one. Right, so we are not sending any response from here, hence code getting stuck. So let us copy the else portion also. Now what will happen? 403 no message. Why? Validation message. Let me see. Have this.
Sir, after today's class, can you just actually push your all codes to the Git?
Yeah. Actually, last week code also I have provided. Okay.
Okay.
I have. Okay, this would be the validation. Okay. Yeah. No message are coming. See, this thing are coming, but why message are not coming? Let me see that again. So this was a function. I think email ID. Uh, this we have copied from many places. So that therefore this thing happened. Okay. Very. Now we will go. Now we will go. So when we hit this thing, since we haven't provided the email ID, so we are getting this thing. Okay, status false, status code yes, and this message will be email ID cannot be blank. So by looking into this, any developers can able to understand his mistake and he can rectify it. Okay. Let me provide you right email ID. I think somebody is Rishabh, Rishabh, can you go on mute? Yeah, I have muted you. Oh, oh. Okay, right now what we are doing, we have given correct email ID and then password. We have provided the wrong one. We failed, right? Why we failed? Application app got crashed. Why? User login, where it crashed? Let me see.
Itu dak mulai ya multi. Anti Julia. Debra ni बनाता ना थिया होता बहुत बड़ी वाला
बना बन ये मुआ
तेल वाला बहुत बना
वो भले बना तेल वाला
Can
तेल में
you
से
go on mute, please? He's speaking. Saurabh, can you go on mute, please?
Hello.
Yeah, some noise are coming.
एक टाइम वाले 4-5
Yeah, thank you. So let us see what is the issue. Okay, I can see some issue are there. Okay, let us start the debugger. Then only we can correctly see the issue. See, through logs also I could not able to understood like what is the issue. Let us provide some breakpoint here and there. Okay. And see why we are not getting the proper response which we are expecting. Okay. Our email ID is fine. Mhm. Let us go to the next step. Why this thing is failing? No longer accept a callback. Okay. I think our problem is with this. Okay, it is not going beyond this. What it is saying, Mongoose query protocol exit no longer accept a callback at execution. So since we have used the callback, so it does not accept it. Okay, it is not accepting it. So what other methods we can use? Let us see. Instead of find one, we will just use find and see whether we can able to log in or not. Of this thing. Okay, sorry. Okay. Why is this running with current tab or monitor is depreciated? We will be okay. Let me use the postman. Sorry, through Chrome. I feel more comfortable there. Let me use the Chrome. Okay. It's getting crash. Right. Let me run this thing again. That's
How you have gone this mode?
how I on this mode. Just give me 1 minute, okay?
Uh, Inspect server, then
Uh, yeah, I mean, I uh, ran this command, okay? Node dash dash inspect app dot server dot js. This command, okay? And I have to wait for few seconds. Few seconds, and then what will happen? This green thing will appear. Okay, when I click this thing, I come up here, and here I can see. Oh, my source is not displaying. Yeah, in this node. Okay. My source file system should show. Hey, open file. No, that's something else. This file system should show. Let me just close this thing again. Close this debugger point. So the problem happening with this save with this find, okay, they are not able to execute this thing. Mhm. Mongoose find Mongoose file. Okay, okay, I don't need to do anything. Okay, understandable. So what I did, I just used the execute function, okay, and since my version was lower, hence it wasn't allowing us to use this fallback. This way it will work. Okay, and how I went
Uh,
there?
uh,
Your question was, I have to write this thing, a node dash dash inspect server.js. When I run this thing, it will run on this inspector mode, and I can directly copy this link and open it in Chrome. Okay, if you copy this link and you can directly open this link in Chrome, it will work. Let the server be running. Yeah, debugger got start attached. It should work, but I don't know what happened. My debugger are not working perfectly. Okay, okay, something happened. I have to restart the machine. Something happened, therefore it is not coming here. But ideally, it should come. It should come there. And now when I hit this thing, debugger waiting for debugger. Let me run it without any debugger. Actually, I think this VS Code debugger is running on background. Okay, and it's not allowing the code to execute further. So let me run without debugger, and again the same error. Model.find no longer accept a callback. Why?
I think you can just chain it after you find it, you can just do another function after you get the results, or you do it or then something.
Yeah, actually, it should work, but they are telling to use async await. I know I can do that thing. Let me see whether I can use this thing or not. Actually, it has been duplicated. Okay, but I am using it in other projects. Then why I cannot use it here? It depends upon the MongoDB uh, cluster which we have created. So for some cluster they allow, for some cluster they don't. Oh, okay. So what I did, I changed the function type. I mean, from callback, I changed it to promise, and it should work. Should work. Mm, pass the error also. Else different error will occur. Yeah. Yes. So now you can see, yeah, I have given the mm, right username and password. I am getting this. Okay. Provide the wrong one. Starting connection. There.
During the time of putting the password,
Yeah. I don't know what
so,
happened.
during the time of store the user data.
So let me see why it is not going there. Then what I can see, I am getting some response, right? I am getting this, okay, 500 internal error, right? So at some place I have done something wrong. In 500 internal error, I am sending some wrong thing. Return successful. After this message, what I have done. In some place, I think I have placed the wrong code. Okay, let me give some log. Let me see. Okay, this is undefined. I'm not getting any data from this. Okay, okay, I see the mistake. Okay, no, try. Error is not. Why this thing is getting so? Okay. So what this function did, they are not sending any errors. Okay, they are just sending the data in its parameters. Okay, this was our issue. So we can do it like this. We don't need any testing for this. Okay, actually this function give data in different way than what we were doing earlier. So we need to change our code. Okay, so so in this way they provide data as an array. Earlier on we were expecting some JSON with an error and success data, but now this function provide as an array. So what we are doing, we are checking the length, like whether we are getting more than one data, at least one data or not. If we are not getting any data, we are sending validation error, and then else we are moving forward. So let's see, again error. Now where it is stuck. User compare password. Sorry, I have to change everything. Okay. Yes. Now I think it's good. Again, one more error where now I think many things we need to change due to this single bug. Due to this different function, we have to change many things. What I am doing, I'm not matching it. Okay, I'm not matching it. I will. I am simply. I am simply explaining you like how we are generating the generatory token, and then what I will do, I will later on I will explain this thing. I will fix this thing and push my code into GitHub. Okay, still error. What? Okay, 55. Let it be connected. No, the next problem occurs. What is the next problem? 500 error. Uh, Due to one single function, I think all of our code got broken. Okay, due to that single function.
હા પ્રોગ્રામિંગ નું શું કરા કરે છે પણ એક બાજુ ખાઈ લો મારે છે એક બાજુ સેવ શું કરે છે
It has been connected. So what I will do? Uh, okay, there are some error. Secret or private key should be this. Getting data. This is the password. Secret or private key must be asymmetric key using the okay. Since we have used the RS-256, this key should be an asymmetric key. Okay, meaning it should be with the some format. Let us see what we can do for now. I will update my code based on the based on our when that code changes which we have done, and then I will provide you the correct one. So secret and private key should be something like this. Okay, start begin with this and end with this. In this way, it should be on some other key, on other places. So what we can do? So to make it work, we have to remove the algorithm for now. Okay, sorry for this. Don't know why this thing happened. I haven't tested this thing fully. Why I always getting 500 error. Payload is required. JWT token. So I think today's class is due to one function change, our code and everything got changed. Okay. But the next class, what I will do, I will connect everything, uh, change those things as per uh, our latest code, and then it will work. I will just create this JL2 token data and this JL2 secret. Okay. Let us run this thing. I think now we will get. Still, we are getting 509. Why? Payload is required. I am providing the payload. Let me see.
I think you need to pass a payload in the callback function so that you can use it as a token.
No. See, uh, we are passing the payload from the callback function, but I think while creating a JWT token, they need the data. With one small change, all our coding structure got changed. Right? I mean, yeah, it is coming as undefined. So that's why. Let me see. One fetch function, I think, break all our functionality. Totally break up the full application. This data, yeah, we have the payload, right? We are getting this data. Why it is not passing there? When we send it here, it is it is going as a blank. User
Data dot length double equal to 0. You have to check the condition.
okay, okay, okay. This thing is correcting everything. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you. Yeah. So since I make this thing as length as 0, so what happened? That the all the array data, all the data are getting vanished. So with this small bug, uh, it screwed everything. Sorry for okay. And it was so minor thing that I could not able to uh, check this thing, but still I am getting the same thing. Payload to be a plain object. Okay, okay. Let me create an object. Email and name. Let me check the idea. Name. First name. Sorry for this small bug. Okay, and then we can provide the uh, date or at time or date and all those things. I will explain you later. First, let me see whether this thing are working or not. Oh, why?
I don't think you have passed the payload yet somewhere.
My mistake. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah. See, finally we got all those things right. Login success, a token, and the data. Ideally we will not send this data. Okay, I have done this thing. I have to check whether we are getting everything correctly or not. So ideally we will not send this data. We will just send this token, and then whenever we are doing anything, any authentication or any authorization, we will decrypt this password, this token, and when we decrypt this, we will get this data. Okay, this data, and then the further thing, we can do this. Suppose if he is an admin, so we can add admin type also, right? And then based on their details, we can allow him to do certain functionality. So this is called authorization. Okay. The process which we have done now, it is called authentication. What we are doing, we are checking whether it's an authentic, whether the requests are coming from the authentic user. So whenever we will call some other API where we want to make it secure, once it get login, what we will do, we will just provide them a token, nothing else. We will just provide them this token, and we will ask the UI person, like whenever you will call any other API, store this token, in your place, whether it's a session, cookie, or anywhere. And whenever you will call any other API, you just need to add this token. With this token, we can able to identify whether the requests are coming from any valid user or not. Okay, and we can generate the different data that we want to store inside our token. So this token, I think contain this three information, which I have manually inserted this thing. So when I decrypt this token, I will get these information. So a UI guy or any third party do not have to send this data again and again to validate those things. Right? Sorry for this two mistake. I would say this function change for which this I mean the code terminology got changed, and this payload mistake. I would say this equal mistake. Our half hours got lost. So what I will do, I will rewrite this thing, rewrite the different thing which I have commented on, and in next class, uh, I will write the authorization process also, so we can start from there, directly from there. Okay. So till now, for this, anybody have any question?
No, for me it's okay. I think I'll just have to get to the GitHub link and then look through it again for
Yeah, yeah.
clarity.
In my GitHub link, I will push my code. What I will do, I will complete this code again. I mean, change this code, and then push it by tonight. Okay, so that tomorrow morning you all have this code. Actually, due to one single mistake, uh, I have to rewrite this thing again. So this is my Git link. Okay, you can do it. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Vinny, thank you, Colin.
Thank you for this.